with clay today, and I've got in my hand a ball of clay. Now, clay is nothing more than dirt. It's just really, really clean dirt. So I'm going to show you several things today. If you don't remember the process or the steps, just ask and I'll take you through them. So this clay is not ready to use yet. It comes out of the bag, and I'm going to slice off a piece for each of you. But before you can use it, you have to do what's called kneading or wedging the clay. Now, I'm just squishing it down like this, but what I'm not doing is folding it over, because that puts air back in the clay. When we knead the clay, when we wedge the clay, we are forcing the air bubbles out of it. And you need to do this for a full 3 minutes, okay? It's going to seem like a long time, but it's better than the alternative, which is when you put your clay into the kiln, it blows up, okay? And we'd like to avoid that. Now, once I've got my clay wedged, and I've done it for a full 3 minutes, I'm going to get a pair of these slats. These are just rulers, but when we have these things, these wood things that are the same width, we refer to them as slats. I'm also going to take a rolling pin, and I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. I'm going to roll this out. Now, it's important that what we do is we roll this out so that it's the same thickness. And it takes a little working to do. I go back over it until I've got roughly the same thickness. I'm going to take this, and on each of the tables, you now have a bowl. There's brushes. You'll need to put water in the bowl. There are sponges on your table, and I'm going to put that here. And there are also a kit of tools. And the tools that I need to use right now are the clay knife, this thing that I've got right here. Okay? So watch along with me and I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to square that off, and I'm going to cut several. Everybody's going to ask me how many, and it's going to depend on how big you work. But I'm going to cut several slices like noodles. Okay, and they're wet noodles. I'm going to set them aside. Some of them are a little bigger than others. That's okay. I'm going to slice them in half. And this is pretty easy, okay? It's like working with Play-Doh. I'm going to simply roll it up like a snail or like a cinnamon roll. And I'm going to make several of these. Now I'm going to work pretty fast here. I'm going to hope that you're going to work a little bit slower than me. But I'm going to make several of these. And I'll show you what we're making here in a second. It's very likely there's going to be different sizes. But I'm going to shoot for 6, I think. Some people have gone for 7 or 8. I might need to actually do 7 or 8 because my rolls are not very big today. We're going to take these, we're going to line them up. And once they're lined up, I'm going to take some more of these strips here, and I'm going to start to fill in any gaps that I see above and below. Anybody have any idea what we're making? No? No? Okay, so we're going to create a container of some sort. It could be a bowl, it could be a box. I've got these slats, and watch, I'm going to squeeze them together a little bit so that I'm going to get a nice flat top and especially a nice flat bottom. Okay? And once I've got these squeezed together like this, my job is going to be to get this sponge wet, and I'm going to go back over the clay, and I'm going to get it, I don't want to get it soaking wet, but I want to get it damp enough that now on this side I can start to squeeze the clay together. I can start to smooth it out. And if I've got some gaps that I don't want to have in here, I'll take pieces of clay and I'm just going to add them in here. And again, I want to kind of smooth this out. And I'm moving very fast. You need to take your time with this. I want to smooth this out as much as I can. And I could probably get this a lot smoother with my sponge now. Oh, look at that mess. But the sponge works really good for helping to smooth things out. And if you have some gaps in places, that may still be interesting. I'm going to take and slice a nice straight line here. Whoops. And right here. Is this a lot to remember? Now I'm going to chop a straight end off here and a straight end off here. And I'm very carefully going to lift this up. And notice that all the patterns that I created are still here on this side. And anybody have any ideas how this is going to come together yet?
A triangle.
It could be a triangle. I've got another tool. It's just a pointed stick. And on the edges, I want to rough it up. This is called scoring. So I'm going to score the edges. And then I'm going to use this real watery mud. And this is called slip. And it acts like a glue for clay. And all it is just water and real muddy clay. And I'm going to carefully put these together. I may have to smooth them out a little bit. And you know what? I think I would like to put a base on here. So I'm going to take this and put it on here. What do you think I need to do, though, before I can put this on here? Two things need to happen. Yeah?
You have to like smooth it down to the other clay? No.
Oh, okay, now you're close. You're close. Okay? So I've got to be able to attach it. What do we do to attach the two sides over here?
Scored.
We slipped and scored it. So the second thing is I need to cut around this shape. And I would do that really carefully. But if I don't get it exactly right, I can always, it's just clay, it's wet still, I can always chop it off. Now I've got the base on here, but I don't have it slipped and scored. So I would have to score the bottom and add slip like glue onto that. Okay? Now, there's almost no chance that you're going to get all the way done with this today. Probably you're going to get to this stage here. That would be fantastic if we can get to that spot today. Okay?